Just be a couple of seconds here, just turning off the TV speakers. Alright, here we go. Hopefully this works. Does not crash on me. See how it is compared to the A10C. Got that baby down to 6.5 minutes, including weapons ready. That's while still looking at my procedure. I mean, I think I can improve that a little. Although I've organised things in such a way that they get done. I don't have to wait around for certain things, and group things as well. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to this training lesson on starting up the Viper. In some missions, you will find yourself in a cold and dark Viper that you'll need to bring to life. While this can be a rather long process described in the manual, you can also enable the auto start function. However, for this lesson, we'll review the full startup procedure. Press spacebar when you're ready to get started. As we go, remember a right click generally positions the switch up, while a left click positions the switch down. First, position the main power switch to battery with a click of the right mouse button. This connects the aircraft's battery to essential systems and provides power needed for engine ignition. Just below the switch on the same panel, verify the amber FLICUS relay light is illuminated. This is a check that the flight control computer's fault monitoring system is operating. Press spacebar to continue. Now, position the FLICUS power test switch to the test position and hold it in place with the right mouse button. The 4 FLICUS power lights next to the switch should illuminate. Returning to the electrical panel, the FLICUS relay lights we're just looking at should turn off, and the TO FLICUS and FLICUS PMG lights should be on. This test verifies operation of flight control computer with aircraft battery as the power source. Release the switch and press spacebar to continue. Next, position the main power switch to main power. This prepares the aircraft to run off the engine-mounted generator, but electrical power is not available until the engine is up and running. For that reason, the engine and hydraulic oil pressure warning lights on the right eyebrow and electrical system and secondary caution lights on the caution panel should be illuminated. Press spacebar to continue. On the EPU panel that is just outboard of the main power switch, you'll want to verify the EPU generator and EPU PMG lights are off. Illumination of either indicates criteria for EPU activation are met. The EPU could activate and create hazardous conditions if the EPU safety pin is removed by the ground crew. Turn the main power switch to off and abort the aircraft if the lights are on, although this is highly unlikely as you have gone terribly astray in the procedure already. Press spacebar to continue. Now, let's close the canopy in preparation for engine start. This can be delayed until taxi if you wish, but we will close it now to cut down on noise. Use keyboard command left Control C to close the canopy. When it's fully closed, click the yellow canopy handle to lock it in place. Verify the canopy warning light on the right eyebrow goes out. Press spacebar to continue.
Hold Control C, my bad.
Now it's time to get the engine up and running. This can go quickly, so feel free to restart the mission at any point if there's something you want to watch more closely. First, position the JFS switch to start 2 with a left click. That just expended both jet fuel starter JFS accumulator bottles and began to spool up the JFS. This also closed the FLICUS relays and applied power to the FLICUS. The JFS run light should come on when it's up to speed, and engine RPM should start to increase. Now, let's monitor the engine instruments. At 20% RPM, advance the throttle to idle position, right shift, and home. This provides power to the engine igniters and starts fuel flow. You should note airframe vibration and an increase in the fan turbine engine inlet temperature as RPM increases. Monitor those on the right side of the instrument panel as the engine start cycle continues. The secondary caution light goes out at 20% RPM and the JFS automatically shuts off at 55%. The JFS light should go out and the JFS switch should return to the off position automatically. At 60% RPM, the standby generator comes online and the engine warning light goes out. A few seconds later, the main generator comes online and the standby generator goes offline. All aircraft systems are now running off electricity from the generator and are ready to be powered up. Normal indications after engine start are hydraulic and oil warning lights off, fuel flow between 700 and 1700 pounds per hour, oil pressure 15 psi minimum, nozzle position greater than 94%, RPM 62 to 80%, F-tip 650 C or less, and hydraulic pressure for A and B between 2850 and 3250 psi. Verify those on the instrument panel and press spacebar to continue.
Okay, just check a few things, eh? Okay. Hydraulic and oil. I already hit shift home. Let's see. Oh no, I hit left shift home, my bad. There we go. And by the way, this is my first time doing this, just so you know. Okay, now what? The SEC caution light goes out at 20% RPM. Well, see if we can see one on, and if it's not on, I'm guessing it would be on that warning panel. I'm not seeing anything on here anymore. I think we're good. Actually, what is that over here on the warnings panel? Seat not on. Okay. Okay, so that's done. And the JFS automatically shuts off at 55%. What is the JFS? Take your word on that. Okay, at 60% RPM, the standby generator comes online. Yeah, we're about 65%. And standby generator. Where should that be? You think it'd be over here, wouldn't you? Could be over here around the power. I think we're going to do a cockpit familiarization training video. Okay, so now let's just trust that that's worked. few seconds later, the main generator comes online and the standby generator goes offline. All aircraft systems are now running off electricity from the generator and are ready to be powered up. Normal indications after engine start are hydraulic oil press warning light off. Well, I can't see any of that. Fuel flow 700 to 1700 pph. Fuel flow, it's got to be over here somewhere. Is that it there? No, that's fuel. See this fuel, that's fuel tank. Assuming. Doop. So this one here, is that oil? Let's zoom in. Oh, there's fuel flow right there. Good. Okay, he's there. Okay, we're at 1200. Yep, so we're in range. Oil pressure 15 psi minimum. Oil pressure, now I was thinking that was oil there, and it looks like it is. We are around 27. Oil pressure 15 psi minimum, we're good. NOS, POS, greater than 94%. Where is that there? We're at 100. RPM 62 to 80%. RPM, yeah, we're at 67. So we're in range. FTIT 650 degrees Celsius or less. FTIT. Just gonna check the chat, see if anyone's saying anything. Hey Brock, how you going? How's New Zealander? Cool, yeah, I'm an Aussie in Nevada. Where are you at? We also got another mate in the chat. He's playing home at the moment, but he plays with me in the mornings. Oh no, he's gone. Buck is fat. Okay, so where are we up to? RPM, FTIT, 650 degrees Celsius or less. FTIT, that one there. We are 375 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we're in range, less than 650. Hydraulic pressure A and B, 2850 to 3250 psi. Hydraulic pressure A and B. That looks like this. Yep. What is? Let's get this tracker working. So finicky sometimes. We're at 3,000. Okay. Yep, we're in range. We're good. Verify those on the instrument panel and press spacebar to continue. Alright.
Now that power is provided by the generator, we have 3 quick tests to run on the master test panel. Position the probe heat switch to probe heat.
Okay. Now the power is provided by the generator. We have 3 quick tests to run on the master test panel. Position the probe heat switch to probe heat. You're not hot. There it is. Okay.
Verify the probe heat caution light on the caution light panel is off. Illumination means one or more probe heaters are inoperative or failure of the monitoring system has occurred. Now, position the probe heat switch to test.
Okay.
The probe heat caution light should flash 3 to 5 times per second. The probe heat monitoring system is inoperative if this does not occur. Return the probe heat switch to the off position. Press spacebar to continue.
Where is that warning light? Is that going to be over here? Okay, we're in the opposition. Let's just move along.
Next, depress the fire and overheat detect button. Verify that the engine fire warning light and the overheat caution light are illuminated when the button is pushed. This checks for continuity of the fire and overheat detection loops. Press spacebar to continue.
Verify the engine fire warning light and the overheat caution light are illuminated when the button is pushed. Yeah, well, if that warning light's over here and I've got to press this button over here, how am I supposed to see the warning light? You know, it's crazy. If that's where the warning light is supposed to show up, I would assume it is. Anyway. Crazy. Okay, spacebar.
Then, depress the malfunction indicator lights button. All cockpit warning, caution, and indicator lights should illuminate when the button is depressed. Voice message system audio alerts should play in priority sequence.
Altitude.
A brief landing gear warning
Warning.
horn should be heard prior to
Camera.
the warning and caution lights.
Counter.
Press spacebar to
Cap.
continue.
Flare. Low. Out. Block.
Now it's time to get our systems up and running and start the INS alignment. This is far easier than it sounds.
ISN.
First, turn on all the switches on the avionics power panel. Each switch in sequence provides power to the modular mission computer, or MMC, power to the store stations, or ST-STA, power to the two MFDs, power to the upfront controls, or UFC, power to the GPS receiver, and power to the data link, or DL. There's also a map power switch, but this is not used in the Block 50 Viper. Press spacebar to continue. Next, position the EGI INS knob to align. This begins alignment of the EGI INS ring laser gyro navigation system. A normal alignment takes approximately 4 minutes to accomplish if the aircraft remains stationary. The knob should be set to nav prior to taxi. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay, nav, and then move it to align. Okay.
While the INS is busy aligning, we'll complete the rest of the cockpit setup and checks. First, set the CNI knob to the UFC position. This enables control of the primary communications, navigation, and identification functions from the upfront controls. Check that all three wheels down lights are illuminated green. This confirms that the landing gear is down and locked, and the micro switches that sense their position are working properly. While you're there, cycle the speed brakes open, left shift B, and back closed, left control B, using the switch on the throttle. Confirm this visually and monitor the speed brake indicator. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. Check that all three wheels down lights are illuminated green. Guessing that's them. Yep, wheels. Now, this means the landing gear is down and locked, and the micro switches that sense their position are working properly. While you're there, cycle the speed brakes on left shift and B, and back to closed, left control and B, using the switch on your throttle. Okay. Which one is that? That doesn't look like it. Oh, wait on. Comms knob. What's this one? Don't know what that one is. Let's have a look. I think we're going to have to hit a key here. Left control. Sorry, left shift and B. Left shift and B while we're going to have a look. Control and B to turn it off. Alright, now using the switch. Actually, why don't I try and see what that switch is doing when I'm hitting that? So, shift and B, I wonder if this button is going to move See something moving around here. There it is. Speed brake indicator. Ah. Closed. I guess that means open. Yep. Control B. Closed. Alrighty. Now. Spacebar.
Next, uncage the standby ADI on the instrument panel. This can be done by rotating the knob until the aircraft symbol is aligned with the horizon. Press spacebar to continue. On the sensor power panel, turn on these three switches. Right hardpoint switch, on if the targeting pod is installed, FCR switch to FCR, radar altimeter switch to radar altimeter. Radar and radar altimeter transmissions are inhibited until the aircraft becomes airborne, but activation of these systems may be delayed until just before takeoff. Press spacebar to continue. Now we're down to a series of checks that may be run to verify proper operation of the aircraft systems. We will start with the check of the engine operation in the secondary engine control mode. This mode is selected in the case of a failure of the engine-mounted digital computer that controls scheduling of the engine fuel flow. First, raise the switch guard and position the engine control switch to SEC. Verify the SEC caution light is on and engine RPM is stabilized. RPM may drop up to 10% from the PRI value before stabilizing. Stabilized SEC idle RPM may be up to 5% lower than in PRI. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay, just give us a sec. Check of engine operation in the secondary engine control SEC mode. This mode is selected in the case of failure of the engine mounted digital computer that controls scheduling of engine fuel flow. First raise the switch guard and position the engine control switch to SEC. There he is. Engine fuel flow, I'm guessing this one here. Oh, it's down over there. Okay. Try and get a view of it. So to remove that. Engine fuel flow to SEC. Verify the SEC caution light is on. And engine RPM is stabilized. Yep, SEC caution light is on. The caution panel. I wonder if I can't switch that that back again, can I? Didn't say to switch it back. RPM may drop to 10% from PRI value before stabilizing. Stabilized SEC idle RPM may be up to 5% lower than that in PRI. Okay.
Now hold down the wheel brake for the next part so your aircraft does not move. Snap the throttle to mill and then back to idle when engine RPM reaches 85%. Check for normal indications and smooth operation. The nozzle position should be 5% or less within 30 seconds after selecting SEC. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. We're still on SEC, okay? Right. We'll move the throttle forward. We've got W down for wheel brake. You said to move it up to what? 85% thrust. 80. %. Check for normal indications and smooth operation. The nozzle position should be 5% or less within 30 seconds after selecting SEC. Nozzle position 5%. Damn, where is that? Is that on the right here? I'm guessing not. It's gotta be. indicator like that, you've got to have it either up front is it over here? It's got to be a dial or a readout. Oxygen supply. Is it FTIT? Yeah, I think it's FTIT. Maybe. Yeah, it only goes up to 12, so I can go up to 12 degrees. That's probably what a jet nozzle would do. Okay, now I think we're good there.
Now, set the engine control switch back to pry and lower the switch guard. Check that the sec light goes out and nozzle position returns to greater than 94%. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay, I think this one's got to change, and this FTIT nozzle position's got to change. Right click. Click. Still at 100 here, still at 4. Check that the sec caution light goes out. Yeah, it did so. Switch back to PRI and lower the switch guard. Yeah, check that the sec caution light goes out. The nozzle position returns to greater than 94%. Nozzle position. Well, it's greater than 94. It's still at 100. Spacebar.
Next, we'll run a check of the Flickus. Start by cycling all your flight controls. Maximum stick inputs warm hydraulic fluid and remove air bubbles, making test failures less likely. Then position the Flickus bit switch to bit. The run light on the flight control panel illuminates. After a successful completion of the bit, approximately 45 seconds later, the run light goes off, the bit switch returns to off, and the fail light and the Flickus warning light remains off. A bit pass message appears on the Flickus MFD page. Other tasks may be completed while the Flickus bit runs. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. Now we'll run a check of the FLCS. Start by cycling all your flight controls, maximum stick inputs, warm hydraulic fluid, and removes air bubbles, making a test failure less likely. Then position the FLCS bit switch to BAT. Okay. That was that switch, wasn't it? Oh, it's just gone off. What? I never even touched it. Maybe it's waiting for me to do it. Let's put this back on. Run. Let's do our flight surfaces. Okay. Whoop. Alrighty. That will probably turn off now. Fail? How did that fail? Let it run and let it turn itself off again. Okay, let's read what it says. Switch to bit. Then position the FLCS bit switch to bit. The run light on the flight control panel illuminates after a successful completion of a bit. Approximately 45 seconds later, the run light goes off. The bit switch returns to off, and the fail light and FLCS warning light remains off. A bit pass message appears on the FLC MFD page. Other tasks may be completed while the FLCS bit runs. Okay.
Now we'll test a fuel quantity indicating system. You will do this by checking the state of the fuel quantity indicator with the fuel quantity knob in the different positions. Start by positioning the fuel quantity knob to test. On the fuel quantity indicator, the FRAL pointer should indicate 2,000 plus or minus 100 pounds, and totalizer should indicate 6,000 plus or minus 100 pounds. The forward and aft low fuel caution lights should illuminate. The quantity readouts in the other positions should match the aircraft's actual fuel load. After the check is complete, set the fuel quantity knob back to the norm. Press spacebar to continue. Next, let's check the operation of the digital backup software. It is used if problems arise with the primary FLICA software. First, position the digital backup switch to backup. Verify that DBU on warning light illuminates and operate your controls. All surfaces should respond normally. Next, return the digital backup switch to off. Verify the DBU on warning light goes off. Press spacebar to continue. Now we'll verify that the trim system is functioning correctly. Set trim autopilot disconnect switch to disconnect. Use the trim head on your stick to trim in both pitch and roll. There should be no control surface motion and no movement on the trim wheels or indicators. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. Which one of these is trim? That's the thrust. It's got to be trim here. Alright, let's see. I reckon it's not going to work. Correct. Did not work, but let's double check that is actually still working on this plane. Actually, what I do is I just click. What I'm doing is I'm clicking this button here on my stick. I'm going to see if that's showing up as trim. Yep. Cool. So yeah, that didn't do anything, so we're good here. Okay.
Return the trim AP disconnect switch to the norm position. Again, use your trim head on the stick to trim in both pitch and roll. The control surface and trim indicators should move. Center the trim for pitch and roll and use the yaw trim knob to check the center trim for yaw. Press spacebar to continue.
Trim indicators should move. Trim indicators. Where are my trim indicators, man? First we'll check to see if this is trimming. There we go. Left trim. Right trim. Up and down. Now where is this supposed to be? Let's read it again. And use your trim hat on the stick to trim in both pitch and roll. The control surfaces and trim indicator should move, yes. Set another trim for pitch and roll, and use the yaw trim knob to check and center trim for yaw. Okay.
Next is to check if the manual pitch override system is working correctly. Start by pushing the stick full forward and holding that position. The horizontal tail should deflect down. Then, position the MPO switch to override and hold. Confirm that horizontal tail trailing edges move further down. Release the stick and MPO switch and confirm that the horizontal tail returns to its original position. Press spacebar to continue. The last check is of the emergency power unit. This check verifies EPU electrical power is available in case of an emergency. It may be delayed until just before takeoff if desired. First, check EPU fuel quantity reads 95 to 102%. Next, set oxygen to 100%. Then, holding down the brake, increase engine RPM to 10% above normal idle. Press spacebar to continue.
No flow test, oxy test button like in the A10C. Right, 6 plugs into. Where's this EPU fuel quantity? 95 to 102. There it is, 100. Okay. Then holding down the brakes, engine at 10%. Above normal idle, press spacebar. Okay. W for holding the front wheel brake. Bring it up to 10%. What up to 10%, man? And over here the RPM. No. We've got RPM percent is friggin' 70. 65. Increase engine RPM 10% above normal idle. Oh, my bad. Okay, so bring it up to 77. And hit spacebar.
Set the EPU generator test switch to EPU generator and hold it in position. Check the following lights: EPU air light on, EPU generator and EPU PMG lights off, Flickus power lights on, EPU run light on for a minimum of 5 seconds. Press spacebar to continue.
Oh yeah, I see that light coming on there. And those came on, and that came on. Alright.
Return the EPU generator test switch to the off position. Return the throttle to idle and set oxygen back to normal. Press spacebar to continue.
EPU generator on the left. You're not going to tell me where it is again? Well, that was, I guess, the one that I was hitting. It just bounced back. Man, I can't get this view over the seat. Hit spacebar.
That's it. You're ready to taxi as soon as your INS alignment is complete, and you position the EGI INS knob to nav. Use the time on the ground to set up your avionics systems for the assigned mission. Things to consider include SMS page and profiles, radio channels and frequencies, navigation data, bingo fuel settings, ALO settings, and any other systems applicable to the mission. We will pick up again at this point in the lesson that covers taxi and takeoff. You may use the escape key to exit the mission now or continue to explore the aircraft on your own.
Okay, that's it. You're ready to taxi as soon as your INS alignment is complete, and you position the EGI INS knob to nav. Well, mate, you friggin' told me to put it at nav and then switch it to normal after takeoff, after taxi. So that's what I did. And now you're telling me different. Okay. So it hasn't been aligning all this time. It's been Awesome. Oh well. Here is the INS. It's going to take probably like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe a few minutes for that to friggin' work. I feel like that's it, and I should just friggin' move along and do some flying maybe. In this baby. Maybe some weapons training. Oh, it never had me arm the ejection seat too. How about I do that, and I do this. Alright, let's move along to some taxi and takeoff. Alright. This lesson we're starting in an up and running Viper, and we will learn how to taxi to the runway and take off. Okay, let's do that.
In this
Throttle
lesson, we're
back.
starting a Viper that's already up and running, and we'll learn how to taxi to the runway and take off. Before we taxi out though, let's set up a few more items that we did not cover in the cold start lesson. Press spacebar when you're ready. On the altimeter, verify the current airfield altimeter setting of 30.04 inches mercury is set. You may rotate the pressure setting knob with the mouse wheel to select the new setting if it becomes necessary. We also verify the altitude display on the HUD matches the altitude on altimeter within plus or minus 75 feet.
Yeah, we're
Barometric altitude is displayed on a scale on the right side of the HUD. Press spacebar to continue.
good. Okay, well that's 3004. That's showing pretty damn close, just under 100, which is what it's showing there. We're good there, and we are showing is this it here? 40. So that's within 75 feet of 75 feet. It's within, it's actually 35 feet out, so we're good. I think we're all good now. Yeah, on the right side of the HUD, yep. Plus or minus 75 feet. Yeah, we're good.
Then, select between electric and pneumatic modes with the lever. Electric mode uses altitude determined by the central air data computer, while pneumatic uses pneumatic pressure sensed by the pitot-static system. These should read within plus or minus 75 feet of one another. Set it back to electric mode when you're done. Put simply, the altitude displayed on all sources should match with no significant errors. Press spacebar to continue.
Yep, we're good.
Now, set up your anti-collision, position, and formation lights as you desire. The formation lights, or slime lights, are low-intensity green lights that aid in close formation flying. Position lights are red and green lights that mark the left and right sides of the aircraft. And the anti-collision light is the white strobe on the tail. Typically, all lights should be on and flashing for taxi and takeoff unless blackout conditions are necessary. When done, press spacebar.
Should the anti-collisions be? That's off by the looks of it, or is it in position 1? It's in position 1. So these are already on bright. Flash should be on. Fueling's on bright. Master. Right click to all, I guess. Was I supposed to do the master? What to say up here? The formation lights or slime lights. Low intensity green lights that aid in close in formation flying. Vision lights are red and green lights that mark the left and right sides of the aircraft, and the anti-collision light is the white strobe on the tail. Let's see if that's what we're seeing here. Nice strobe on the tail here. Bottom of the tail on the engine. Okay, let's have a look. Let's turn it all the way to C. Anyway, I thought I can learn that from somebody else. There's too many options to go through there.
Time to set up your internal lights. The top three knobs on the interior lighting panel control the intensity of the lettering of the panels themselves. The two console and instrument dials control floodlighting of the left and right consoles and instrument panel. The malfunction indicator light switch sets the intensity of the caution and warning lights. You may also enable the flashlight at any time using the keyboard command Left Alt and L. Experiment with these and press spacebar when ready to move on.
Alrighty.
Next, we'll verify the EGI knob is set to nav. This is done after the INES alignment is complete and you're ready to taxi the aircraft. It should already be set on this mission. Press spacebar to continue. Now we are ready to get moving. Press the nose wheel steering or air refueling disconnect button on your stick, or press the S key. This will enable nose wheel steering and allow you to control your path using the rudder pedals. The nose wheel steering and air refueling light right at the HUD should illuminate to indicate nose wheel steering is engaged. Press spacebar to continue.
S key, but I would love to see where that is on the stick. So I'm assuming it must be over here. Let's press the S key, see what it does. And does it show up anywhere a light? So the light indicator would hit the S key. What's it say here? Press the NWS AR disc button on your stick or press the S key. This will enable nose wheel steering, allow you to control your path using the rudder pedals. Nose wheel steering / AR light right of the HUD should illuminate to indicate nose wheel steering is engaged. Okay, there it is. Off, on, sweet.
To get rolling, slowly increase the throttle just past idle until you have forward movement. Then return the throttle to idle. Gently test the brakes and nose wheel steering immediately after your aircraft begins to move forward. Press Z to steer left and X to steer right. Taxi forward and turn right on the taxiway.
And I feel like I'm sitting up so high in this damn thing.
Okay, now we're on our way. Max taxi speed in F-16 is about 30 knots, but be sure to slow down to about 10 knots for turns. Heat may build up quickly if the brakes are used for an extended period, so do not ride the brakes to control taxi speed. Use one firm application of the toe brakes to slow the aircraft if you need to. keep the throttle to idle and only advance it if you need to speed up. Let's turn left and hold short of the runway. Come to a stop as you approach the runway, and we'll make sure that the aircraft is ready for takeoff. Apply the brakes and hold right here.
There we go.
A series of last-minute
Set a-
checks need to be made just prior to entering the runway.
Reset my track
Some
down.
airfields have arm, de-arm areas you may be temporarily parked at to keep the aircraft clear of other traffic. You may also perform these checks while parked on the taxiway, as we are now. Press spacebar to continue.
Pull up here. Hit F5. C-130 out there, that's it. Hit F10. Hit this button up here. One on the left, center on us. I like to hit show labels, that button there. Okay, can't see anybody else around us. So we're good. Hit F1. Okay, spacebar to continue.
First, set the probe heat switch to probe heat. This should be done at least 2 minutes prior to takeoff if icing conditions exist. Delay selection of probe heat as long as possible prior to takeoff if icing is not expected to prevent overheat and damage to probe components. Next,
Yeah,
verify
yeah,
the
I
alt
love the
flap switch is set to normal.
Bib toe.
Then, just inboard the manual trim panel, check the needles on the trim indicators are centered. This is the final verification the trim
36
settings are
months ago.
correct for takeoff and have not been inadvertently changed. Center them if you need to using the trim knobs or the trim controls on your stick. Press spacebar to continue.
Yeah, are the radios on? I never got told anything about radios. Let me check. DGT 27. Let's have a look here. I'm used to the A10C. This is first time for me. I mean, I've flown this before, you know, what do you call it? Hot start. Never cold start. And, yeah, I'm not familiar with everything in here. That is for sure. Okay, we got... That's on normal. That's off. So that obviously... So now I turn that radio on. I think that's normally for main in the A10C. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, never... This was a warm start, this training for taxiing. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I guess that's... Nothing else here looks... It's hard to see underneath there too. Doing SQL. That's main. That's normal. What's this up here? CMDS, countermeasures, display system, I guess. I guess we're good here. See the white card, that's the radio. Okay. You're talking about this, I guess. Yeah, I see that's, I know that's radio, yeah. Alright. Let's take a quick look here. Wow. Got friggin' 10 viewers. Awesome. Okay, let's get this baby up in the air. 11 viewers. Man. We are so popular. Let's try not to... Whoa! A little bit too much speed there. Okay. I'm supposed to hit the W. Rookie mistake.
Now, verify the engine control switch is set to pry and the guard is down. Verify your speed brakes are closed
Yeah, I'll
and the
just end
canopy
the
is
Twitch
closed
stream
and
before you
locked.
guys see it.
The yellow handle should be down and the canopy warning light on the right eyebrow should be off. Press spacebar to continue.
Just wanted to show you how to get it up on the two wheels. Okay, what it is. Now verify the engine cont switch is set to PRI and the guard is down. Yep, the engine cont switch is set to PRI, the guard is down, correct. And verify your speed brakes are closed and your canopy is closed and locked. Canopy is closed and locked, yep, that's down. We saw it last time in the startup that we just did for the first time. Cold startup. Okay, speed brake is closed. Yeah, I saw this changing. And we'll just have a little look. Yep, speed brake is closed. Alrighty, let's see, did we damage the right wing at all? Oh my god. Okay, canopy down, right eyebrow. Warning light on the right eyebrow should be off. Warning light on the right eyebrow. What are you talking about, mate? What are you talking about? I need a spacebar.
Set the store's configuration switch as required. In general, set Cat 1 for air-to-air loadouts without external wing tanks. Set Cat 3 for air-to-ground loadouts or any loadouts with external wing tanks. We have external fuel tanks and air-to-ground stores loaded, so set it to Cat 3. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay, so set it to Cat 3. Spacebar.
Next, we'll verify the external fuel tanks are feeding. Set the fuel quantity select knob to external wing and check the quantity. Wing external tank should feed first and have lower quantity than at engine start, somewhere just below 2,400 pounds. If a centerline external tank were installed, it would feed first and we have to check its quantity instead. Press spacebar to continue.
2,300 there. Now did he want to go back to normal? I think it's best to go back to normal, don't you think? Let's read what he says here. Set fuel quantity select knob to external wing and check the quantity. Wing external fuel tanks should feed first and have a lower quantity than at engine start. Somewhere just about 2,400 pounds. If the centerline external fuel tank were installed, it would feed first, and we would have checked its quantity instead. Okay, he knows that it says to go back, but I guess we could leave it on externals, and once we see that drop off, then we can just dump them. Alright, spacebar.
Set the fuel quantity select knob to internal wing and check the quantity. The internal wing tanks are fed from externals and should be full, or about 550 pounds.
Yep,
Press spacebar to continue. Now, set the fuel quantity select knob back to normal. This allows the automatic forward fuel transfer system, trap fuel warning, and bingo fuel warning to operate properly. Press spacebar to continue. Stow the targeting pod if installed by selecting the targeting pod control page on an MFD and selecting standby. This is done prior to takeoff and before landing to prevent foreign object damage to components. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Stow the target pod if installed by selecting targeting pod control page on an MFD and select standby. MFD, multifunction display. Okay, do what? Stow the target pod if installed by selecting the targeting pod control page on an MFD and selecting standby.
Then, lower the ejection safety lever. This arms the ejection seat and allows ejection when the ejection handle is pulled. This is delayed as long as possible to prevent inadvertent ejection on the ground. Egresses through other means is usually preferable. Press spacebar to continue. Last, check that the engine oil pressure is reading normal between 15 and 65 psi, and all caution and warning lights are out. Press spacebar to continue.
Yep. Oil is between 15 and 65 psi. We are good. Spacebar.
At this point, we are ready to take the runway. Go ahead and taxi out and turn left to line up on the center line. Come to a stop and we'll run a quick lineup check and walk through the takeoff sequence. Okay, roll forward until you're lined up with the runway and hold the brakes. Verify the parking brake is disengaged and the anti-skid switch is set to anti-skid. This will prevent the brakes from locking up and blowing your tires if you need to abort the takeoff and come to a stop quickly. Press spacebar to continue.
Okay. Can roll forward until you're lined up with the runway and hold the brakes. Yes. Verify the parking brake is disengaged. And the anti-skid switch is set to anti-skid. It's normally over here on the A10. Anti-skid, where are you? Oh, parking brake. Yeah, it's set to anti-skid. Parking brake is off. Yeah, it's on anti-skid. Switch is set to anti-skid. This will prevent the brakes from locking up and blowing your tires if you need to abort the takeoff and come to a stop quickly. Spacebar.
This is going to go quickly, so I will describe the entire sequence, then we will run through it step by step. First comes the lineup check. You will keep the brakes held, run the engine up to 90% RPM, and check for normal indications on your engine instruments. You will release the brakes, increase throttle to full, and engage the afterburner. Maintain track down the runway using the rudder pedals, ZNX. You will disengage the nose wheel steering about 70 knots when the rudder becomes effective. As you approach your takeoff speed, about 170 knots in this case, pull gently back on the stick to raise the nose about 10 degrees. You can use the gun cross and the pitch ladder in the HUD as a guide. The aircraft will become airborne and start to climb. Raise the landing gear while still below 300 knots and then continue to fly the aircraft along the runway heading. If you're ready, let's go ahead and give it a try. I will talk you through it as we go. Press spacebar to continue.
Yeah, sure. That's it, spacebar, fuck it.
Okay, hold the brakes, W, and advance the throttle to 90% RPM. Check the engine instruments for hydraulic oil pressure warning light off, oil pressure between 25 and 65 psi, FTIT 935 degrees or less, hydraulic A and B pressure between 2850 and 3250 psi. Then release the brakes and advance the throttle to full.
I think we are all good there. Let's see. Double check. Do you reckon I should check them all or just go? Go, go, go. That's how I feel. Wheel brakes off. Let's go.
Now use gentle rudder inputs, ZNX, to maintain track down the runway. Disengage nose wheel steering, S.
S for nose wheel steering.
You're approaching takeoff
That's off.
speed. Gently pull back on the stick to raise the nose about 10 degrees.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We just got off there. Whoa.
Okay, we are airborne. Raise the landing gear, G. You will lose a little lift as the trailing edge flaps retract, so be sure to maintain the climb. Now, maintain your current heading and reduce throttle.
Okay, how are my flaps looking? Normally you need to turn your flaps
Congratulations, you have just taken off in a Viper. You will pick up next time with a look at landing. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key or continue to fly around.
up. Let's do a little fly around, eh? How much fuel have we got? We've got external tanks. We are set to normal, which is showing all the fuel that we have. 10,500 pounds. That should keep us going for half an hour almost. bird can fly.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
Altitude.
Oh! Okay. What are we gonna do now? Doo-doo-doo-doo. So that's the F-16 training. That's all they give you. Aircraft startup and taxi and takeoff. Yeah. Nice. Should I do some more A10C? I'm telling everybody here I'm doing F-16, so I don't wanna swap over so quickly. Let's see, how about we do some... I wish they did you some weapons training in this. I mean, come on. You should have a look at what they do on the A10C. Look at all that training. Look at the Harrier. F-18. Yeah, way better with the F-18. Here's the Mirage. Yeah. Alrighty. What time is it? 1 a.m. US Pacific time. I gotta go in about an hour. What am I gonna do for another hour? Wonder if we should just do some flying in the F-16, eh? Actually, I wonder if we can do some instant action, but I don't understand how to use everything, so mission-wise I'm gonna be not so good. Gonna be pretty crap. We'll give this a go. We'll see how we go with our A10 understanding on this baby. Oh, we get more in the beta version, Reslam? Okay. Nice. Yeah, I know how to get that. We'll have to think about doing that then. Wonder how big that download is. I'll do that while I'm sleeping. Alright. We got some SAMs on this mission to take out. And I've got to tell you, I'm not trained up in this plane. I haven't done really any training other than what I just did. Cold startup and takeoff. So
2 supply trucks are ahead of you at the fork in the river, left of the town 9 clicks ahead. The groups are marked with green smoke. Waypoint 2, labeled supply, is the target location.
hey! What? Oh, I was still selected on the friggin' A10, my bad. Hmm. Let's go to F-16. Offensive basic flight maneuvers. Maybe we should do some of that. And some landing. Actually, I'm going to have to do some landing tomorrow night. 7 p.m. Pacific. So, what else have we got here with the different maps? Any votes? What map and what mission? I'm actually kind of feeling like landing. What else can we do? Landing on that map as well. Nevada. Not that one. Persian Gulf landing. Why don't we do that? Okay, we've got the right plane showing on here. Well, that was showing the right plane before, my bad. Okay, here we go. So, mission starts with your aircraft on initial for an overhead pattern. You may land immediately or stay in the pattern for multiple approaches. There are no threats. Okay. Thrust back. Air brakes, that was like shift
Altitude.
and B, right?
Altitude.
And are they... Yep, speed brakes are on. Let's chop off some speed real quick. Get the gear down. This ain't gonna work, this one. Actually, let's see if we can do this. Flaps, hit F.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Air brakes are
Altitude.
still
Altitude.
on.
Altitude.
We'll turn the nose wheel steering on,
Altitude.
which is
Altitude.
S. Wheel brakes, come on. Pull up. Wow. That was so easy to land compared to the A-10. Gotta get ready to watch out for the end of the runway here. Come on, pull up. Are we gonna pull up right before the end? This is gonna be classic. No, I didn't put the nose wheel steering. Now we got it. F. Can we still get this baby off the dirt, off the desert? Damn, this thing like really gets up and moving quickly compared to the A-10. That was good. How many of you all thought I was going to land that? Okay, let's check my flaps. Shift left. Left. Okay, let's take off. So we've got the nose wheel steering on at the moment. We've got to get over 80 before we turn that off.
Altitude, 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 altitude.
Okay, we're up. Gear up. Let's just go straight up, eh?
Altitude, altitude.
Can't do that in an A10.
Pull up. Bingo, bingo. Altitude,
Fuel.
altitude,
1900 pounds. mate.
Altitude.
Awesome.
altitude.
Okay. See if we can land
Altitude.
this baby again.
Altitude,
Power right back. Air brakes. Control. Well, shift B. Yep, they're on. So speed 300. Got to chop off a good 150-ish. We're pretty damn close. Gear down. Speed.
altitude, altitude.
Ready to pull back.
Altitude, altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude, altitude.
Okay. Speed brakes off. Control B.
Altitude, 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 altitude. Bingo,
Yeah. We're out of
bingo.
fuel. Fuck yeah.
Altitude, altitude.
We're gonna buddy up. Yep, we're out of fuel. What if I can land it again? Do you reckon I can land it again? 3,000 foot. Yeah. 400 knots. Easy. Let's get the speed brakes on. Shift B. Yep, they're on. Oh, we're down to speed. We don't want to lose any more. Gear down. Oh, look at this. Easy as. Oh, man. Wheel brakes, W. Visual steering, S. Actually, now it's on. Wait on. Went on and then came off. It's flashing. There you go. Wow, this is... I love flying this. Compared to the A10. I mean, A10 is great for taking out, great casts. But this thing is great to fly. There we go. Out of gas. Actually, you can resupply, can't you, over it, parking over it. I'm not going to get there now. F18, eh? Maybe for tomorrow night. What time is it now? Still got 50 minutes almost. Whoops. What are we gonna do? I won't let any of you guys down. I know you came in for the F16. I don't want to go to the A10 now. I've been doing a lot of A10C training streams. And I've got a mate that I play with in the morning as soon as he gets his stuff together. Tomorrow morning we'll be on 12, just after 12 p.m. Pacific US time. Probably flying the A10C training again. So what would you guys like to see now, say for the next half hour? You want me to go up in the F18? What do you want me to do? Let's have a look in the F18. I don't really want to do any training with the F18 though. Maybe I should just do some F16 free flight. Instant action. We've done the landing. Let's grope at the Combat Air Patrol. Oh, that looks interesting. High aspect basic flight maneuvers. Offensive basic flight maneuvers. Fighter intercept. Still to learn how to use the weapons. Offensive basic flight maneuvers. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I just found the A10C like very easy to kind of get out of kilter, you know, whereas this plane, like, you can really pull the stick around and not get what you have happen with the A10 with this. This is a fighter though, of course, and it's meant to be able to handle those sort of maneuvers. Okay, now with this, you are intended to start with a clear advantage. Experienced players may find it useful exercise to delay firing and see how long they can maintain the offensive position. Maintain an offensive posture and gain the kill. Alright. Su-27 tool.
An
Okay.
enemy aircraft is at your 12 o'clock. Maintain an offensive posture and gain the kill.
Pull back in speed. Let's go high. Let's see, where is he now?
Altitude. Altitude.
Guns. Hit number one. Thrust. Firing. Boom. What I did was hit number one to arm the missiles and put him in the
Flash
circle,
one.
and then
Second enemy aircraft has entered the area.
hit
You try your
normal
luck
fighter.
in a neutral BFM situation or exit the
Awesome.
mission.
There's another one above my neck. 5 miles. See if we can get that. He's on yep, on our 6. 29 on our early warning. 6 miles out. Oh, he's firing at me. I don't know how to do countermeasures. Wow, that missed me, I think. Although, look, got some holes in me, I think. Or do I? Look at that center pylon. Okay, he's on my 6. How are we going to bring him? Actually, why don't we... Hard for him to push down like that.
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up. Bingo. Bingo.
Bingo fuel? You're kidding me. £1,800. Where is he? He's coming with me. Actually, let's see if I can hook right around in front of him, and then go up. Oh, he freaking hit me! That's it. Get down. Offensive high aspect basic flight maneuvers. Why don't we do the same again? See if we can get both of them. Okay, power up.
An enemy aircraft is at your 12 o'clock. Maintain an offensive posture and gain the kill.
Firing. Bam. Where's the other guy? F5.
Flash 1. A second enemy aircraft has entered the
Back into
area.
our right.
You try your luck in a neutral BFM situation or exit the mission.
Where is he now? Oh, he's right below me. Well, there's another one out there. 2 of them. Jeez. Lock. Turn. Firing. He's flared. I think we might hit. Oh, he did hit. Whoa. See this. Oh, just trying to let me come past him. Okay, we'll go up.
All enemy aircraft have been destroyed. You may exit the mission or return to base.
Oh, done. He's going down. Have a look at him. He's down. So he won't show up. Where's the downed aircraft? Oh, there it is back there. There it is, the smoke just disappeared. It's in the HUD. And the HUD right now.
Altitude. Altitude.
Just above the HUD now it is.
Pull up. Pull up. Altitude.
There it is, right above us.
Altitude.
Whoa, what happened now? I blacked out.
Altitude.
Maybe it's time to
Altitude.
eject, eh? Oh! Hey. Cool. Well, got him that time. With no weapons training at all, just, well, I've done A10C and, you know, I kind of know the basics. Just hit number 1, the number keys to bring up the different weapons, and tried number 1 and heard the aim 9 hook up, get a turn, fire it. Pretty simple. But I have not. I had other. Did I have other weapons on me? Like AMRAAMs, aim 9s, aim 7s? I wonder. So we're still in the F-16. Let's have a look at high aspect basic flight maneuvers. Why not? That's 27 and a MiG-29, okay.
An enemy aircraft is at your 12 o'clock. Achieve an offensive position and gain the kill as quickly as possible.
Hit number 1 to bring up, there we go, tone, firing, 2.5 miles. He's going up and hit. Okay, is there another one for me?
Splash 1. A second enemy aircraft has entered the area.
Okay, where is it? There it is. Passing by me now, merge. Okay, let's want to keep our energy, so instead of going up, we'll just flip it around. Which way is he going? We can use number 2. Is he shooting at me? Oh shit! Eject. Right. I'm stuck! Can't even go to F1 to go back in the cockpit and try and manually open that canopy. I'm looking. I think I can trim it out. Alright. So that was high aspect. I wonder if the basic will give us an option for a different missile if we hit the different number keys. Other than the AIM-9X. I kind of tried it with that one, but I never got anything with number 2. So I'll hit number 2 here.
An enemy aircraft is at your 12 o'clock. Maintain an offensive posture and gain the kill.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a circle like... Oh, there we got the gun. Gun is number 3. How about we go with guns? Speed off, air brake, shift, what was it? B? I don't want to lose too much energy. I just don't want to end up on his, have him end up on my 6. Control B, brakes off, power, power on. Shot then, never saw any rounds because of the way I was turning. We've lost a lot of speed, we're down to stall speed now. Full power. Kinda need to get some speed up and then pull up. Got up to 260 here. Pull over with him. We're almost down back to stall speed again, 140. $340, and we'll have more this time. Hopefully we don't overrun him. I'm going to start powering back here. Hit him! Oh, cool. Shift B for brake. Don't think we need to hit him anymore. I think he's going to go down. Or will he? Brake off. Brake off. Hit him again. Gotta get some power back into this. So bring the nose up. Thrust. Firing. Hit him again. There we go.
Altitude.
Flashlight. Second mode. Try your luck in a neutral BFM situation or exit the mission.
Power up. Where is this other guy? Below me. He's above. Let's do another guns. Hopefully he's not heading straight towards me. Is he hot or cold? I'm gonna fire at him at 4 miles, get him on the defensive. I don't know if he's coming towards me or not. I'm guessing he's cold. Or maybe not. No, he's not. Oh. Okay. Going for a little climb. fired there. Okay, we gotta get this air brakes on. Where is he now? Back down. There he is. Power and pull up. Power. Down to 300. We've got to get some brakes on here.
Altitude. Altitude.
We don't lose too much. Try and let. Okay, power on. Brakes off. What's he doing? Whoa! Where are you? In front of me. Get some speed back in this baby. Maybe not for this little tight turn, and then power on. Let's get some speed up and then follow you. 300 should be enough. You're just gonna stall there in the sky, eh? Firing. Come on, firing. Oh, we're out of freaking gun. Let's switch back to number 1, AIM 9Xs. It will not switch back. Hit number 3 then. Bring up that. Must be the AIM 9Xs, I'm guessing. Just stalling.
Bingo. Bingo.
Fuel, let's try and get a lock onto him here. Power, come on. But not quite enough to follow him up. 170. I'll go out to the right here. And then turn back. Oh, he's firing at me. Uh-oh, this is not going to be good. Oh! Hit me! Smash me. Fire! Fire! Eject! Eject! It will not work! Okay. Well, that was an interesting run. What time is it now? 1:30. I might just